Hey everyone, today we are changing the RV's battery. So as I mentioned earlier, today we are changing the RV's battery. We have one lead acid battery currently. We are changing to lithium. This is part two of this series. We did a part one where we are changing the converter in the RV. I'll put the link in the description so you can check it out. It's the same procedure if you have just a default a converter that is not working. Ours were working perfectly, but it was just not compatible with lithium batteries, so we had to switch it so that it's able to charge it to 100%. But in this video, we'll concentrate on the battery itself. I won't go through all the technicals, regarding lithium versus lead acid battery. There's plenty of video on YouTube that you can look for that will explain all of the technical details. But the reason why we're changing to lithium is lithium batteries are much more efficient. And it's something to consider when you have to change your battery. Basically, if your batteries are still good, okay, you don't really need to change it. But if you are to change a battery and you expect to keep your trailer or your RV for a long time, maybe it's a good thing to invest in a good battery instead of a lead acid battery that have a shorter lifetime. There's a couple things. A lead acid battery, when it's fully charged, it will give you obviously the maximum output that it can. When it starts decreasing, so let's say it's 100%, it will give you the maximum output. When it goes to 90, there will be a percentage of that output that will go away. 80%, like there's a curve where the output of the power will go as long as the battery discharge, and there's a limit to where you can discharge that battery without damaging the cells. This is not an issue with the lithium batteries. You can discharge them. I wouldn't discharge them all the way to zero, but you can discharge them way further than a lead acid battery, and it will keep outputting the same power all the way through. So instead of decreasing the power that it outputs as time goes, it will remain stable until, like, it's basically all or nothing. So that's one advantage of the lead acid, the lithium battery over the lead acid. The weight is another factor. These things are about half the weight of the lead acid battery that we currently have. So by adding two, because that's what we're going to do, we're having two batteries in parallel, we're doubling the capacity that we have. So we will end up with 200 amp hours versus 100 amp hours for about the same weight. So we're not adding 50 pound of weight to the trailer because we're adding a second battery, since those batteries are all about half the weight of the original one. So those are the main reason, and we went with AO lithium for a couple of reasons. The quality of the battery, when I was looking for reviews and stuff like that, there was a guy who totally dismantled the battery to look at the. All right, sorry, I had to cut. This thing made me jump and it was making a lot of noise, so I just turned it off. So I was saying we chose AO lithium because the quality of the component in there. I'll post a link to the description. I'll post a link to the video in the description where I can't remember the name of the channel, but he did a great review, well, not just a review of this thing. He does reviews for solar panels and batteries and all this stuff. So, and he dismantled this battery to look at the components. And his comments were they really put really great components in there, great BMS, great cables and everything. So, quality of the battery, the price point for the quality that we get in this thing, the price point was super interesting, at least for my budget. And the warranty as well. It comes with an 8-year warranty on those batteries, which lower priced battery normally come only 5 or 3 years. These things come with 8 years, good quality, and also have Bluetooth. I'll give you a screenshot of the app. They have an app that you connect. It's a really simple app. You just connect the battery to it. It shows up in the app, and then you can look at the power level and the temperature and all those little stats that you can have for those batteries. So it's obviously, if you're connected to shore power, it doesn't mean anything because you'll always be 100%. But if you're not connected to shore power and you want to have an idea of how much power you have left in the batteries, well, that can be something that is interesting. So that's is for all those reasons we went with Lithium. They had a great deal on Black Friday, and I just bought 3 batteries, 2 for the RVs and 1 for powering the electronic device and the trolling motor on the Zodiac. So yeah, that's it. Next step, we'll go install these. All right, so in order to install the batteries on the RV, the one thing that we need to change, and that's one of the things, we're replacing one battery that was being held in this box with 2 batteries that are larger than this. It doesn't fit in any case. I tried to find a case that was pre-made. I didn't find anything for double batteries this size because there's, like I said, I think they're group 27 batteries. They're 12-inch long by not quite 7-inch wide. So I didn't find anything that was fitting my need. And yes, lithium batteries, you can put them inside the trailer. That's another advantage. They don't need to be vented like lead acid batteries. So a lot of people are putting their battery bank inside the trailer, but that caused you to reroute the wiring. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to leave the battery where it is, just double the capacity. So that's what I'm going to do, but I need to do a modification to the trailer in order to do that. So I already removed everything that was in the way, like the propane tanks and everything. But what we need to modify in order for this to work is those 2 angle irons that we have there. They don't have enough space for me to fit the new size of the battery that is going to be in there. So basically we have to remove this thing, move it a little bit forward, and this one move it a little bit backwards so that it will accommodate for the size of the new box. So I got a friend who's a welder is coming home, and we're going to be able to replace those angle iron, so that way the box will be able to fit in the front of the RV. And then we're gonna go ahead and work with the box. Like I said, I bought a sheet of 2 feet by 8 feet of diamond plate, aluminum diamond plate. So I'm gonna use that to build a box out of it for the new battery. So I'm gonna show you that next. All right, so from the big sheet of aluminum that I had, I currently have 3 pieces already cut down to size. So I have this big piece right here, which is front, bottom, and back of the box, and the 2 sides here that I'm going to be using. It's a small box. It's like 13 inches depth, 20 inches wide by about 9 inches tall. And I have the rest of the checker plate here to do the cover afterward. I did the cut using, I bought this blade at Harbor Freight, which is made for aluminum. It was cheap and it's working really, really well. I just clamped the guide on the measurement that I use and then use the scale saw to go along the line, and it worked amazing. Almost no cleaning to be done on the edges. This is an edge that was cut. It's pretty clean, for much cleaner than if you're using an angle grinder with an abrasive disc. So minimum cleaning to be doing max, so that we don't cut our fingers. And then I'm gonna bend those to the specification that I need using this thing right here that I built to build small metal sheets. I inspired myself from another YouTuber for this. I'm going to put his link of the video in the description, where he does all the explanation on how to do this, but it's basically a piece of wood, hinges, and some pieces of angle iron. It's not like, maybe it's the way I build it. It's not perfect. It does not like perfect 90-degree angles. There's a little rounded the radius on it, but it will do the job for what I need, or I can always hammer it down using the vise or anything. So I'll mark my sheets, bend them to what I need, and then we'll look at the end result after. I'm just going to put this together with pop rivets, so I'm not going to be welding. I'm not equipped for welding and aluminum, so it will do the job just fine. All right, so for the first piece of aluminum is done. The first ply, basically it's one piece of metal, 24 inches wide, 31 inches long. The goal was to have a box of having a width of 20 inches by 13 inches and 9 inches tall. So that's what I've done, and basically it's not perfect because I would have liked those to touch each other on each end, but it's not dramatic because I'm going to have another sheet of this right behind that's going to cover all of that that we're going to fix with pop rivets. And what I've done is other than that, it's just like one sheet. That's the bottom here. That's either front or back, and obviously the sides here that are bented. The long ones I've bented with, you know, the makeshift bender. It worked okay. It was tougher, harder than I expected, but it worked okay. And the little ones is, I mean, I don't have any adjustments in that. It's either 24 inches or nothing. Well, you can do smaller, but obviously once those big ply were done, I couldn't do the little ones because obviously those sides were going in there. It's not like I have die that I can place where exactly I want. So I used 2 pieces of steel cut to 9 inches, and then I just squeezed every portion that I needed to apply between those 2 plates, and with a couple of these things, and made a little scuff in the joint. It's not going to be seen here because it's so small. I used like the thinnest blade that I could use. Made a mini scuff here on the joint, and then just clamped the 2 pieces of steel on each side and force it into where I wanted by applying pressure, either with a steel plate or something else, so that this doesn't move against what I was laying this upon, and forcing it into the angle that I wanted. It ended up looking not too bad. Like I said, it ain't perfect. You can see the little gap here, but like I just said earlier, I'm going to insert a plate, another piece of this right behind it. That's going to cover all of that. It might be like minor gaps, but who cares? Like, it's not, I'm not building a safe here. It's just a box for batteries. So that's the first piece. I'm going to cut the sides, and we're going to look on how we're going to fix that on the side. So here are the sides cut to fit, with little rounded corners to fit the inside corners there, and it just slide in like that. I'm going to drill holes, install rivets, which will hold it in place, and that will secure, make it solid. So that will be the base box. Next step will be, and obviously the same thing on the other side. Next step will be to build a cover for it. I have plenty of material left from the sheet that I bought, so I'm going to figure what I'm going to do for the cover. So yeah, so that's going to be the next step. So I'm going to be drilling the holes and install the rivet, and show you what it looks like after that. So here it goes. The rivets are in place. Box is completed. I'm pretty happy with the result. I'm only going to put a bead of silicone here so that the box doesn't fill with water. But other than that, I like the result. And now I need to make a cover for that. All right, so here is the cover. So just a tiny bit bigger than the box itself with the lip. Just like that. And as you can see, I added that little rubber thingy here on top so that when the cover is on the box, it doesn't make noise rattling around. I brazed, welded the inside corners. It's not perfect, but it does the job just fine, just to hold the corners together. And now the only thing that is needed for this is install some hinges and some kind of lock to keep the box closed. All right, so this is where we are. The hinges have been installed. As you can see, the box opened pretty good. I'll show you the inside after. So I installed a piano hinge, stainless one. One of my friends had this laying around as its place, so he gave it to me. Big thank you to him. Again, riveted on the box and reversed rivet on the cover, because these things are sticking out and I didn't want them to stick out and preventing me from closing the lid. So that is not super beautiful, but we don't care. It's on the back. It won't be showed by anyone. Also went ahead and put some silicone on all those joints there, those gaps, so that the box doesn't fill with water. It's not super pretty right now as it shows white, but it's a clear silicone that takes some time to clear, 7 to 14 days they say on the tube, so that will work out well. And if I open that, I went ahead and did a test, obviously placing that on the trailer and seeing where I was going to get the wires through the box. Made a dot and drill a hole in order to protect the wires from scraping against the metal. I went ahead and installed some wire grommets. The hole is a little bit bigger than what I need to, but the wire grommets that I had for the hole that was required for the wires to be able to pass through, I'd rather have some bigger holes that can, move around a little bit and be super secure against the material. The other size that I had 100 that would fit, that would be perfect for the hole, like the lip wasn't long enough, and I felt that the grommet could be easily pushed in or out with just like a little movement of the wire. So I just want to make sure that the wire won't rub on the metal. And these are the two batteries, obviously, like I showed you earlier in the video. These are the ones that I'm going to be connecting. And I've used the padding material that was in the shipping box, basically. Just put a little bit all around this so that the battery doesn't move around or bounce around in the box. I might even stick one on the cover so that when it closes, it comes, do a light pressure on the battery here so that it doesn't jump up if we do get some bumps on the road. So next thing to do, I'm waiting for some parts tomorrow. Going to be drilling holes in the corners of the box to fix that on the frame, self-tapping screws, and I'm waiting for a latch here that we're going to install to secure the box closed so that the lid doesn't open, obviously, when we drive down the road with the wind, and put a little lock on there to secure them in there. So that's where we are right now. Waiting for the part tomorrow. We're going to install that and finish that. We're leaving in 2 days, so I need this thing to be ready and install in the trailer. So next step, tomorrow. So here it is. The box is completed. The only thing that I was waiting for is that thing here, a stainless latch that I was waiting from Amazon. Just got in today, so we're going to be able to put that lock in, just for preventing from this opening while we are driving, and obviously adding a little bit of security. Obviously I know the rivets are exposed. Normally this thing should be like both screwed the other way, but we don't need to fix the box like that. Anyway, if somebody starts to drill those to be able to get inside the box, underneath the back rack, behind the tanks, like it's a bit of a mess to get in there once everything is in place. So it's kind of a weird thing to do in the middle of a camping, so that should be good. So the next thing we'll be doing is I'm gonna remove whatever the aluminum shards that are in there, but we're gonna put the box in place, and basically we're gonna fix it to the frame with 4 screws on the corner, just like a regular battery box, drilled into the angle iron there with self-tapping screws, and we'll be good to go. All right, so the battery box is in place. As you can see here, I've screwed one screw on each corner into the frame, so that is not going anywhere. We've put the batteries in, the foam is in so that nothing is moving. What is left to do is obviously do the connections. And I have 2 batteries here that are going to be connected in parallel. So basically the way you do that is you take a wire, let's take the red wire here, and you connect the positive together, and you take another wire, you connect the negative together. So that will allow you to double your capacity. So the next thing to do is to connect the wires coming in from the RV. I have a couple of wires. Those are the wires that are coming for the RV. I also have another wire that is coming from the solar connection, and another wire that will be the tire minder booster that I need to install. And the way you do the connections, if you want your batteries to discharge and recharge evenly, you don't want one battery to be more discharged, to take more juice than the other one. You want them both to charge evenly and discharge evenly. You take the positive, all of the positive that are coming in, you connect to one of the battery, and all of the negative are going to the second battery. This way both batteries are going to charge and discharge evenly, and you make sure that these 2 things are staying healthy throughout their life. So I'm going to do the connections, and after that we're going to see if it works inside. All right, so the installation is completed. I completed that last night. It was a bit too dark for me to film. So basically, just like I said, the batteries are connected like that. So negative together, positive together, and then the negative coming from the RV to one of the batteries, and the positive to the other ones. So that's pretty much it. I have my lock here to lock this box, and it worked out really good. When I finished the installation yesterday, I went quickly in the trailer and opened the light to see if it was working. It was working already. Obviously the fridge was working. Everything is working just as expected. So it's kind of a relief when you install something and it works. So we'll be good to leave tomorrow. Actually, already started to reinstall the bike rack mount, and I still need to put the propane tanks on, but that will take 2 minutes. So that's it for today's video. If you liked the video, obviously the one more thing before I go out with the outro, the worst thing about doing this thing was not connecting the battery. Connecting the battery was pretty easy. Obviously the hardest part of this change was to build the battery box, which was a great challenge, but went down pretty well. It was my first time bending metal and doing this kind of build, so it worked out pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with the results. So on that note, like I was about to say, if you like the video, make sure to put it a thumbs up, share it to whoever thinks this could be useful. If you have any question, put them down in the comment and I'll do my best to answer them. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, and until next time, take care.